Hey, Keyforge Corner here. So today, when I woke up, I found something really interesting on Keyforge. Apparently, 2 new rulings have become official for the Keyforge card game. And as cool as this is, the rulings themselves have actually got some quite negative feedback from a lot of players. So I'd like to jump into this right away, share it with you guys, and see what you guys think about the rulings themselves. So today we're going to talk about one ruling, which I think is the most controversial one. It's the stolen Hexpion ruling. Okay, so let's go piece by piece. Hexpion. It's a 2-power creature. It has a destroyed ability, which says Archive Hexpion and the top card of your deck. Now, the situation we're mentioning here is when Hexpion is stolen by a card like, for example, Hypnobeam. Hypnobeam says, play, gain control of an enemy creature. So, let's say your opponent has Hexpion, you use Hypnobeam, and take control of Hexpion. Now, what happens when this Hexpion you stole gets destroyed? Will you get to archive a card? Will you put it in your archives? Before, we had some pretty solid explanation for it, but let's jump right into the official ruling. So the official ruling pretty much states that, under the leaves play clause, Hexpion, when he leaves the field, has to go to the appropriate out-of-play zone. Since Hexpion originally belongs to the player you stole it from, he does go into the correct archive. And as to what happens with the archiving a top card of your deck effect, the official ruling states that since Hexpion left the opponent's archive, he is now in a so-called hidden zone, in which the identities of cards are, well, hidden from you. Which means that you can't use his, let's say, secondary part of the effect to archive the top card, because he is already in a hidden zone, so he's hidden from you. That's the way that they have officially ruled it. Now, why a lot of people disagree with this ruling is that if that were the case, we would have a small problem, since technically Hexpion's effect does say to do both things. So does that mean that one thing happens first and the other one after Hexpion is no longer in play? Because then we'd have this whole issue, since there are no cards in Keyforge which activate out of play. All destroyed effects activate before a creature is destroyed, so it doesn't activate in the discard, it activates on the field. That's how Keyforge has been working so far. But with this ruling, it will basically mean that Hexpion activates from the archive, which would be pretty odd looking at how Keyforge has been looking so far. The way that the community has ruled this was that when Hexpion leaves, he goes to the appropriate archive, obviously, as according to the leaves play clause. And when it comes to archiving the top card, since you had it on the field, you are the one that archives the card. So that's how it was ruled by the community. So you can see that there's quite a bit of a divide between the understanding of the community as well as the official source. Now, I am quite interested if this is actually going to be addressed further, because I did see that this started quite a big problem in the Keyforge community with this official ruling. So I'm curious if they're going to go back to it, if they're gonna talk about it more, if they're maybe going to change this ruling, and let's say like in a month or so this video is going to be effectively useless except for historically documenting the happenings of Keyforge. So I'm really curious what is going to happen with this Hexpion ruling, because so far the way it's stated in the official source, that's the way it's gonna run. What do you guys think about the Hexpion ruling? Do you agree with that? Do you think that maybe something's wrong here? Do you think that they're gonna change it in the future? Or do you actually think that this is a good change and it's going to bring more light into the card game itself? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Let's discuss. I'm the Keyforge Corner. Hope you enjoyed the video. And tomorrow, I'll be talking about the other controversial ruling. See you there.